Part 1. Guys, I don't even know where to start with this, and I feel like my stomach is in knots just typing. I've lurked on Reddit forever, laughed at the petty revenge posts, cried at the breakup stories, and rolled my eyes at some of the wilder drama. And now I feel like I've somehow been dropped into my own personal soap opera, except it doesn't feel entertaining at all. It feels like my entire life is breaking apart at the seams. If my husband ever saw this post, I honestly think everything would explode, so I'm hiding behind this throwaway. But I need to tell someone. I can't keep this rattling around in my head, because it's eating me alive. So, background. I, 32F, have been married to my husband, 34M, for almost 8 years. Together for 10. We have one daughter together. Well, I always thought it was. Together. She's 6, bubbly, loves unicorns, and she's basically my heart walking around outside my body. Becoming her mom changed me in ways I can't even explain. All the cliches? Totally true. The late nights, the tantrums, the first time she said, "Mommy, I love you." That stuff rewires you. And through all of it, my husband was right there. He was the kind of dad who woke up for 3 a.m. feedings, who learned how to braid hair, badly, but still tried, who made pancake shapes on Sunday mornings. I thought we were solid. I thought we were the boring, stable couple that people secretly envied. We've had our ups and downs, sure. He lost his job once, I dealt with postpartum depression, we fought about money, about chores, about the stupid little things you fight about when you're exhausted. But nothing that felt catastrophic. Nothing that prepared me for what I found a couple weeks ago. It started in the most mundane way possible. I was cleaning. Our closet is a black hole where paperwork goes to die. Old bills, random receipts, shoeboxes full of God knows what. I'd been on a spring cleaning kick, trying to get rid of clutter. At the very back of the closet, behind a box of my husband's old college textbooks, I found an envelope. Thick, sealed with one of those self-adhesive strips. It wasn't addressed to anyone, just shoved back there. At first, I thought it was some old bank statement, but when I picked it up, it felt different. Heavier. My curiosity got the better of me. I opened it. Inside were papers I didn't recognize at first. Then I saw the bold header, DNA relationship test results. My heart skipped. I froze. For a second, I thought maybe it was one of those ancestry kits. We joked about doing 23andMe before. But no. This was different. This was official. It listed my husband's name. It listed my daughter's name. And in big, clinical, black letters, probability of paternity, 0%. I swear my vision blurred. My hands went cold. I had to sit down on the floor right there in the closet, surrounded by dust bunnies and a half-empty box of old Christmas lights. I reread it over and over, as if the letters might rearrange themselves into something less devastating. But it didn't change. My husband is not the biological father of my daughter. According to this test, the probability is 0. Not 50%, not a low likelihood. 0. I think I sat there for over an hour, just staring at the paper, trying to make sense of it. My first thought was that it had to be a mistake. Maybe it wasn't real. Maybe it was some kind of scam. Maybe he ordered one of those novelty joke tests. But no. It had lab logos, reference numbers, dates. It looked terrifyingly legitimate. Then came the whirlwind of thoughts. Did he know? Why did he have this? Did he order it behind my back? If he wasn't the father, then who the hell is? I racked my brain, trying to remember. I've only ever been with 2 men in the time frame that could matter, my husband, and God, I hate even typing this, an ex-boyfriend I hooked up with exactly once after a brutal fight with my husband during our early dating years. It was stupid, it was self-destructive, and it happened before we were even engaged. I buried it so deep I almost convinced myself it didn't happen. But now the ghost was back, and it had claws. I shoved the papers back in the envelope, put it in my nightstand, and pretended like nothing had happened. That night, my husband came home from work, kissed me on the cheek, asked what was for dinner. And I looked at him like he was a stranger. Every word out of his mouth, Every smile felt like a lie. Did he know? Did he look at our daughter and see my mistake every single day? The thought made me nauseous. Over the next week, I went into full-blown detective mode. I couldn't help it. Every time he picked up our daughter, every time he brushed her hair back or tucked her in, I watched his face. Did he know she wasn't his? Did he resent me? Resent her? He didn't act any different. He was the same goofy, loving dad. But that almost made it worse. Because if he knew and kept this bottled up, what kind of man does that? And if he didn't know, then who the hell ordered the test? Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I waited until he fell asleep one night and crept into the closet again. I tore through every box, every folder, looking for more. And I found it. Hidden inside an old laptop bag was the receipt. He ordered the test 2 years ago. 2 years. He's been sitting on this knowledge all that time. The receipt showed he sent in cheek swabs. One from him, one from our daughter. Which means he secretly swabbed her at some point. Without telling me. Without telling her. Without telling anyone. And then he buried the results in the closet. I don't know how I didn't scream. I crawled back into bed, staring at the ceiling, my mind racing. 2 years. He's been living with this. Looking me in the eye. Playing house. Pretending. Or maybe he didn't want to ruin our family. Maybe he loves her enough that biology doesn't matter. But then why hide it? Why not tell me? Why not talk about it? The paranoia is eating me alive. Every time he smiles at me, I wonder if it's fake. Every time he says, "I love you," I wonder if he's silently adding, "But you betrayed me." Sometimes I catch him looking at her with this softness, and I want to believe he doesn't care about the DNA. But then I see shadows in his eyes, and I think, no, he knows, and he resents me for it. I've been replaying that night with my ex over and over in my head. Did it really happen in the time frame that could matter? The math is brutal. It lines up just enough to make sense. But I can't be 100% sure. And the idea that my entire family, my marriage, my daughter's identity could be built on that one stupid, reckless mistake, it makes me feel like I can't breathe. I haven't confronted him. Not yet. I want to, but every time I try, the words get stuck. How do you even start that conversation? "Hey, I found the DNA test you hid in the closet. Want to talk about it?" What if he blows up? What if he takes her away from me? What if he tells her when she's too young to process it? My biggest fear is losing her. She is my world. If the truth comes out wrong, if he decides I don't deserve her, I don't even want to think about it. And the craziest part? I don't know if I even want the truth. Because if I confirm it, if I go back and do my own test, and it says what I already suspect, then it's real. It's undeniable. And once it's real, you can't put that genie back in the bottle. So here I am, pretending like everything's fine. Packing lunches, doing laundry, smiling at PTA meetings. All while the secret sits in my nightstand like a ticking bomb. I keep imagining it going off. My husband confronting me, my daughter asking questions I can't answer, our family shattering. And I don't know if I have the strength to survive that. I don't know what to do. Do I confess to him? Do I demand to know why he hid it? Do I try to track down my ex and find out if he knows anything? Do I take another test myself? Every option feels like a cliff, and I'm standing at the edge with my toes over the drop. The only thing I know for sure is that this secret won't stay buried forever. And I don't know if I'm ready for the fallout when it finally explodes. Part 2. Okay, Reddit, I think my brain is officially fried. Since I posted last, I've been living in this weird limbo where every single interaction with my husband feels like a minefield. I can't stop scanning his face, his words, his tone, for some hint of what he knows or doesn't know. It's exhausting, and it's breaking me down. But something happened this week that pushed me over the edge, and now I don't think I can keep playing dumb much longer. After I found that receipt in his old laptop bag, I couldn't get it out of my head. 2 years. 2 years he's been carrying this secret. I'd lie awake at night staring at the ceiling, while he snored peacefully beside me, and think, how? How do you go about your life knowing something like this? How do you sit across from me at dinner, laugh at our daughter's silly jokes, make love to me, all while hiding a truth this massive? Did he hate me for it? Did he pity me? Did he stay out of love, or out of some twisted sense of duty? Every possibility made me feel smaller and smaller. Then, a couple nights ago, I hit my breaking point. We were sitting on the couch after putting our daughter to bed. He was scrolling on his phone. I was pretending to watch TV, but really my heart was pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. And I just blurted, "Do you love her?" He looked up, startled. "Of course I do. What kind of question is that?" His eyes darted to mine, then back to his phone. And I swear, in that split second, I saw something. Guilt? Fear? Or maybe I was just projecting. I mumbled something about being tired and went to bed. But the look on his face stuck with me. The next morning, I decided I couldn't keep spinning in circles. I needed answers. So while he was at work, I made an appointment with a therapist. Not for him, not for us, but for me. First session was brutal. I cried for most of it. Told the therapist everything, from the hidden DNA test to the one-night mistake with my ex that I'd buried for years. She didn't judge me. She just listened. And then she said something that hit me like a freight train. "Secrets fester. You can't heal at a relationship built on silence." As much as I wanted her to give me a neat solution, she didn't. She just held up a mirror to the truth I've been running from. I can't keep pretending forever. Fast forward to yesterday. I was making dinner, my daughter coloring at the table, when my husband walked in with flowers. Not roses, not anything romantic, sunflowers, my favorite. The gesture would have melted me once. But now, it felt like salt in a wound. Was this guilt flowers? Was he trying to paper over the cracks? I thanked him, smiled, put them in a vase. But inside, I was screaming. Later that night, after we tucked her in, I decided to test him. Not a full confrontation, but a poke. I said, "Hey, do you ever think about doing one of those ancestry DNA kits? Could be fun to learn where we're from." His face changed instantly. Not much, but enough. He stiffened. His smile froze. Then he laughed, forced. "Nah, those things are scams. Waste of money." My stomach dropped. Because before, years ago, he'd been the one who brought it up, saying he thought it'd be cool. The fact that he shut it down so fast? It screamed defense. He knows. He definitely knows. And now here's where the story twists, because I did something reckless. Maybe stupid. Definitely desperate. I ordered my own kit. Not for ancestry, for paternity. I swabbed myself and my daughter, sealed the envelope, and mailed it off. I didn't tell him. I didn't even tell my therapist. The results won't come for a few weeks, but the second I dropped it in the mailbox, I felt this sick mix of relief and dread. Because if it comes back the same way as the hidden test, then it's real. It's not just his secret anymore. It's mine too. But while I wait, life keeps happening. Our daughter had a school play last night. She was a little tree, cutest tree you've ever seen. She stood on stage, nervously clutching her cardboard leaves, and when she spotted us in the audience, she lit up. She waved, beamed, and I swear my heart could have burst. My husband squeezed my hand and whispered, "She's perfect." And for a moment, I wanted to believe. I wanted to believe that DNA doesn't matter, that love makes a family, that maybe we can survive this. But then the envelope flashed in my mind, and the illusion shattered all over again. After the play, we went out for ice cream. He took pictures of her with sprinkles all over her face, joked about how she's growing too fast. I watched him, watched how natural he was, how deeply he adores her. And I thought, maybe he doesn't care about the biology. Maybe he already decided she's his, no matter what. But then why hide the test? Why keep me in the dark? That's the piece I can't reconcile. If he loved her enough to stay, why not tell me? Why bury it like some dirty secret? Last night, after everyone was asleep, I finally did what I've been avoiding. I dug out the envelope again. I sat at the kitchen table with just the overhead light on, staring at those awful words. Probability of paternity, 0%. And I cried. Not quiet tears, ugly, heaving sobs that left me shaking. Because no matter what I tell myself, that paper is real. And it means that, at some point, I have to face the fallout. Here's the kicker, Reddit. I think he knows I know. Today, over breakfast, he watched me too closely. Like he was waiting for me to say something. He asked if I was okay, if I was sleeping. He reached across the table, touched my hand, said, "You know you can tell me anything, right?" I almost broke. The words were right there, sitting on my tongue. But then our daughter spilled her juice, and the moment passed. Maybe I'm a coward. Or maybe I'm just trying to keep the world from exploding for one more day. So now I'm stuck in this limbo. The test results I sent out are weeks away. My husband is acting normal but not normal. My therapist says I need to prepare myself for every outcome. And me? I'm walking around with this secret like it's a live grenade in my pocket. The part that terrifies me most isn't even the marriage. It's her. My daughter. What happens when she finds out someday? Kids ask questions. They notice things. One day, she might want to do her own DNA test for fun, or school, or whatever. And then what? How do you explain to a child that the man who raised her, the man she calls daddy, isn't biologically hers? And worse, how do you explain that mommy knew and lied? I don't know if I'll be the hero in her story, or the villain. And that thought keeps me up more than anything else. I know some of you will say I deserve whatever fallout comes, because I made a mistake all those years ago. And maybe you're right. But does my daughter deserve it? Does she deserve to have her world cracked open because of one night I wish I could erase? I'd take all the pain myself if I could shield her from it. But I don't think that's possible. Secrets always find their way out. I guess that's where I'll leave this for now. The test is in the mail. The truth is coming, whether I'm ready or not. And I can feel the walls of this life I built starting to tremble. Part of me wants to run. Another part wants to fight. But for now, all I can do is wait. And waiting might be the hardest part of all. Part 3. Well, Reddit, the results came in. And everything I've been dreading, everything I tried to push off into some vague future moment, is here now. Sitting in black and white. I can't unsee it. I can't unknow it. And after this week, nothing in my life will ever be the same. The envelope showed up on a Tuesday. Just a plain white package, so ordinary that at first I thought it was junk mail. My heart dropped when I saw the return address. I don't think I even breathed as I carried it into the kitchen. I stood there for a long time, staring at it, like if I didn't open it, maybe I could keep living in the in-between. But my hands moved anyway. I tore it open, unfolded the paper, and there it was, the same brutal verdict as the old hidden report. Probability of paternity, 0%. My daughter is not biologically my husband's. I sank to the floor right there in the kitchen, the paper shaking in my hands. My whole body felt hollow, like I was about to float away. I don't know how long I sat there before I heard the garage door. He was home. I panicked, stuffed the envelope into the junk drawer, wiped my face. But when he walked in, I couldn't meet his eyes. He kissed my cheek, asked about dinner, completely normal. And I thought, how many times has he done this? How many times has he hidden something so big behind that casual smile? The rest of the evening blurred. Our daughter showed him a drawing she made. He ruffled her hair, laughed with her. I watched them and felt both love and grief twist in my chest. Love, because he really is her dad in every way that matters. Grief, because this fragile world we've built is about to crack. When we finally got her to bed, I knew I couldn't keep quiet any longer. The words were choking me. So I told him. I didn't plan some perfect speech. It just tumbled out. I know, I said. He froze halfway through taking off his shoes. You know what? I went to the drawer, pulled out the envelope, and dropped it on the counter. His face went pale. He didn't even look at the paper. He just sat down heavily, like his legs gave out. How long? He whispered. I said, since I found the first one. The hidden test. His hand shook as he rubbed his face. I was going to tell you, he said. I didn't know how. That broke me. Because all these years, I thought I was the only one carrying this secret. Turns out we've both been suffocating under the same weight, just never looking at each other while we drowned. I asked him, why? Why didn't you say anything? He looked at me, eyes wet, and said, because she's mine. I decided the day she was born that she was mine. I didn't want a piece of paper to change that. I thought if I ignored it, if I buried it, maybe it would go away. And I didn't want you to look at me differently. Or her. Or yourself. I didn't know whether to scream or collapse into his arms. Instead, I just cried. I'm so sorry, I told him. It was one night, I swear. I thought she was yours. I never wanted this. He nodded, tears rolling down his cheeks. I know. I know you thought she was mine. That's why I stayed. Because you weren't lying, you believed it. And by the time I knew, I already loved her too much to walk away. We sat like that for a long time, crying quietly in the dim kitchen. No yelling, no plates smashed, no dramatic ultimatums. Just two broken people staring at the truth we'd both avoided for years. It was almost anticlimactic, but in a way, it felt more real than any explosion ever could. The next day, we had the hardest conversation of all, what this means for our daughter. He said he doesn't ever want her to know. Not now, not while she's little. He wants to protect her, keep her world intact. I agreed, though my stomach twisted with guilt. Secrets have already eaten so much of our marriage. Do we dare build another one around her? But what's the alternative? Shatter her childhood with something she's too young to understand? There's no good answer, only the least damaging one. We also talked about us. Whether we can survive this. He admitted he resents me sometimes, even if he doesn't want to. That he feels cheated out of a truth he deserved. I admitted I resent myself more than he ever could. But then he said, every time I look at her, I see the best parts of us. She's our daughter, no matter what science says. I'm not walking away. And in that moment, I believed him. Don't get me wrong. It's not some magical fix. Things aren't suddenly okay. There's therapy ahead, maybe years of it. There are wounds that might never fully heal. There's the constant fear of her finding out someday, and what that will do to her, to us. But there's also love. Messy, complicated, imperfect love that refuses to let go. And maybe that's enough for now. Yesterday, our daughter crawled into bed with us at dawn, hair sticking up everywhere, clutching her stuffed bunny. She wedged herself between us, all warm and giggly, and said, family hug. We wrapped our arms around her, around each other, and I thought, this is it. This is the only thing that matters. Not blood, not DNA. Just this little girl who thinks her parents are her whole world. And for her, I'll keep fighting. For her, I'll try to forgive myself. For her, we'll try to rebuild. So that's where I am, Reddit. The secret's out between us. The paper doesn't lie, but neither does love. It's not a happy ending, not exactly. But it's not the end either. Just a new chapter. One where we don't hide anymore. One where maybe, just maybe, we can grow from the rubble. And if my daughter ever does find out someday, I hope she knows this. She was wanted. She was loved. From the very first breath, she was ours. No test can take that away.